Welcome back to another cosy autumnal art vlog. This week, or should I say these past couple of weeks, we went on quite a few little autumnal adventures. This area was a little driveway area that my dad found while we were driving through Teesdale, and it was called St James Lesser Church. Here you can see me quickly doing a little sketch of the doorway. I did a few paintings around here, and there was loads of these fuzzy little black caterpillars. I don't know what type of butterfly they are, but the caterpillars were everywhere and they were so cute. This was just a couple of weeks back, and I thought it was a bit late for caterpillars, but it was so cute seeing them, and it was such a sunny, beautiful day. It was very cozy, and this church was just absolutely beautiful. It was very peaceful, very secluded area. It just had a lot of farmland around it, as you can see from the different views. There was a lot of field areas, and there was a slight rocky kind of, I think my dad said it was called the scars, and it was like these like rigid rock areas in the background. And there was a lot of sheep, and it was just very cute, and I just had to have a sit down and a little sketch, just something to jot down in my sketchbook, as this place was just so pretty, and why not take the opportunity while we get some of the last sunny days in autumn. The graveyard was just very beautiful. It was very scenic. I managed to get a little loose watercolour scene down. I did the doorway on the other at the front of the church, and then I did more of a field view. I moved to the opposite side of the churchway and did a little watercolour. I'm just using the Royal Talens Art Creation sketchbook for these, and using my travel plain airbrushes where they just fill with water and you can kind of use them for travelling, and going in with some of the Faber-Castell Albert Dürer watercolour pencils and just giving a real light wash. I kind of finished these once I got home, and the sketch on the left of the doorway was just a loose sketch using the Faber-Castell chunky pencils, the jumbo, and I think they turned out really good even though they were quite simple, and I thought it was very cute and just having a really relaxing time while we were here. Perfect. This graveyard was extremely peaceful and calming area, and clearly a very meaningful area. There was a lot of old gravestones, but also some fairly newer gravestones, so I'm assuming for locals around that area, maybe on the local farm areas or housing areas that there is scattered around this little church, I'm assuming people can still be buried here, as there was a few newer graves. And when I had a look around, I do like when I'm in churches having a look at different gravestones and trying to see if I can read dates and things like that on them. And there was a lot of similar surnames, so it was a very heartwarming area to kind of be at, because obviously there is a lot of family and friends that are resting there, and it's just nice to know that they're able to rest together and they're near each other. And clearly a lot of family and friends must still visit here, as some of the graves still had flowers on and they looked relatively fresh, and just really comforting and heartwarming that these families get to still be together, and it was just very peaceful. Weekend of the 12th, we went to the pumpkin patch at East Grange Farm. This was a little pumpkin patch area. I say little, the fields were actually massive, and there was a lot of ranges of pumpkins in different types, and there was a lot of activities for children there. There was like a little fair, there was some of the Birds of Prey, I think, which is a charity organisation, and they had a few different owls, barn owls, and long-eared owls, and the little, I always forget the names of them, but the little diddy ones, I always call them desert owls, but I don't actually think they're from the desert, they're just the really tiny ones, and they always look dead grumpy. There were so many pumpkins to choose from, and I was just like lost amongst them all. My parents got some really massive pumpkins, as they're really good at carving out pumpkins. For all I'm artistic, I really struggle. Once again, I always blame the fact that I'm left-handed, but I think I'm just have lack of talent, but I'm not very good at carving pumpkins. I still do carve them every year because I do enjoy doing it, but my mum and dad, I'll have to add photos somewhere or show them in the next video once Halloween's been, and I'll have to show you some of the pumpkins I do, because my mum and dad's carving skills are like really good, and they always do really amazing looking pumpkins, where I'm not the best. My pumpkins look a bit more like a 2-year-old's done them, but hey ho, we still need a pumpkin up on the doorstep, and I still took a few. I am a sucker for the little tiny baby pumpkins. I'm just can't help myself, and I got a few little small white ones, and I think I got one little medium-sized orange pumpkins, and my mum and dad got a few pumpkins themselves. You get to take a little wheelbarrow, and we went for purple as it's my mum's favourite colour. So we've got to be matching, and we just had a walk around. Everyone was sweltering. It was a really, really hot day. This day we went to the pumpkin patch, and I seemed to be the only person that was cold, as everyone didn't have coats on, and I was in this massive wolf jacket thing that I got off my dad for last Christmas, and it's really thick, and I was still cold. I had the audacity to still be cold, so I have no idea what was wrong with me this day, but everyone else was boiling, and it was really hot. I think it managed to get to 19 degrees, I think, that day, once it got to later on, and the views were just really beautiful, and it stayed sunny all day, and the walking round and just getting to explore. And like I say, my dad picked up some like 3 massive pumpkins, and I don't know how he picked them up and carried them in the wheelbarrow, because I'm weak as a kitten. I couldn't barely pick up the ones I wanted, and they were only small. So kudos to him. But yeah, these little adventures were just so cute, and we just had a really good time exploring and finding our pumpkins for Halloween. time for the sunflowers and they're all dry now and crispy. All died. These will probably get used for like bird seed and like different, like the seeds will be used for other things. But yeah, such a contrast of how it looks now compared to what the sunflower field looked in September when we were here. We are back, guys. We have treated ourselves to a little trip in Durham. I was basically out anyway, dropping things off for Nan, so I was like, may as well pop in at Durham. I did a quick look on Waterstones, had a look at the different books. Some of the books aren't books that I would read. I've had to add video snippets into this video and show you guys because some of the covers were really pretty, but the actual like pages of the book when they were closed like had different like pictures on. There must have been like limited edition books for whatever genre this like aisle was, because in Waterstones there's always them tables where they're like promoting new books, I think, and it seemed like a romancy kind of like dark romance books, so I just had to show like the side bits of them because they were painted like forest and like all like spooky and Halloweeny, and I thought they were so pretty. So I had a look in there, and then I popped into Durham Market, got some Durham butter, stocked up for the week, and now I am just back in the art room. It's a little bit of a mess, so I think I'm going to do a quick little tidy up. And I've still got my Cotman out from last night. I attempted like these little watercolour bookmarks. I did some buttercups. You can't really see because it's focusing on me instead. But if I kind of tilt to the side, it's like a light blue wash. I'll show them a bit better. And then I've completed some different little loose sketches on the last couple of pages that I've got in this little My Stationery watercolour book, which I've been doing loads of like different flowers and plants. There's some fruit in here as well, and I think I'm going to just do some loose watercolours in these and finish them off, and then that will be that sketchbook finished as well. And I think that's what we're going to do, guys. I think that's what I'm feeling like, so I'm going to do a little tidy around, so I will see what I feel like videoing. But yes, I will talk to you guys later. So I did this little loose sketch of a great spotted woodpecker. Some may think it's cheating, but I think it's just making life easier. I've said this before, I think, in previous videos. Whenever I really like a sketch I've done or have completed and I really end up wanting to make a watercolour painting of it on any type of cotton paper or anything that I know is quite a bulky watercolour pad or paper, I will use tracing paper and I will trace the sketch or artwork that I've done, and then I will trace it onto the watercolour paper. This just saves having, if you do any mistakes, having to rub it out on the watercolour paper, and I just find it's easier, as when you make a mistake on watercolour paper with a pencil, I just tend to find personally, I don't know whether I'm just really heavy-handed, it's just a nightmare to rub out of watercolour paper, especially if it's cotton paper, and it's just a nightmare. So why not make life easier? It's still our artwork, and I just trace my sketches onto watercolour paper a lot of the times to save myself some time, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I say, still our artwork, it just is giving ourselves a little bit more time and making our lives a little bit easier, which I think we should do when we can do. So this is me tracing my little woodpecker onto my watercolour paper, and I was going in with some of the Van Gogh Royal Talens watercolour paper. Also using one of my uni pin grey fine liners to draw the woodpecker on, and then rubbing away any pencil marks, which are very lightly added on and will be covered with the watercolour. It is the next day. I got some painting. I got some backgrounds. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see. Some backgrounds done of these, and I managed to sketch out. So I still have multiple other pages to do in this sketchbook, but I have managed to, if I can get the light to not thingy, to like, I've got them all sketched out, sorry. I did backgrounds in these twos. It looks really light because I'm using the natural light, but it's like a purple background, like a muted-y browny yellow. And then they were what I did, I can get them to focus, yesterday. Just some like orangey kind of flowers, and then a little pumpkin with some like moons and stars. Kept this very loosey-goosey. You can't tell, but I'm going to be taking some product photos. I don't have all the products that I eventually want to be on my shop. I also did this. You can't really tell because once again the light is not focused on it, but it's a loose watercolour background of a great spotted woodpecker. So I'm in the midst of doing that as well. I've got my iPad. It is 1:22. I'm going to take some product photos. I'm going to listen to some nice chill relaxing music, and by relaxing I mean heavy metal, because I am a rock girly. I like my rock music, but rock music chills me out. But yeah, so I've just done those as well. So I've got a few things, and I won't show you them yet because I don't know what I'm wanting to do with them yet, but I've painted some backgrounds on these. They are the watercolour bookmarks. They're 300 GSM, 12 sheets, cold pressed, made in Britain. It's the Frisk ones, so they're not 100% cotton, but I got these ones from Details as well, and they are £4.50, and these are acid free for longevity. Yeah, so I've got like a few different bits, like little things, and then I've got like leaves that I've collected and foraged outside like a little cretin. Like a little cretin, like a fairy, we'll say a fairy, and some like little acorns. And then I've got some like crystals, because I was like, oh, they could be really nice in product photos. And I've also got, I can't lift it up because things are balanced on it, but I've also got a green kind of tablecloth to have in the background. So I'm just going to take some photos. At least they're done, and then they're sorted, and I'm just going to listen to some chill music while I do it. And it's a lazy day today. I'm still in my pajamas, believe it or not. And I've just quickly, this isn't a plait, it's like a knot thing that I've got. There was a TikTok video, you can't really see, but it's like you literally just half your hair, spiral it into twists, and then put them two twists and twist them the anti-clockwise together, and it kind of makes this like Celtic-y kind of like mixed knot braid. How cool. Anyway, so I did that on my hair. But yes, so let's get into it, guys. I probably won't be able, because I film with my camera, so I won't be able to show you the photos of me doing them, but like these are like the basic bits that I've got. Got some lemon and ginger tea. I feel like I'm losing my voice again. And I feel quite congested all of a sudden. I think I mentioned prior in my sketchbook tour that I was like quite ill for a bit, and that's why I kind of had like a good like 2 weeks off YouTube and social media. I wasn't really posting anywhere, like TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of thing, and it was because I was feeling really ill, just like virally things, nothing like too serious. And I feel congested again, and I was like just starting to get better last week. So I don't know whether I've caught a cold again, but we are heading into winter, aren't we? So it's like it's that time where illness is rife. But it is now 2:33. I've been listening to some Rammstein while I took product photos, and they went really nice. I thought I did like some cute little displays, so I have done all those photos, like the main photos for them. Like I say, I'm starting to feel really congested, which is why I got a lemon and ginger tea. But I think before I do that, I'm being a bit lazy. It's already 2:30. I should probably already just go outside and take product photos, like the other product photos. But I'm really in the mood to journal, and I want to add to one painting just because while I'm outside taking photos, that'll dry. Because I'm very like impatient person. I'm a very fidgety person. Like I'm always like feel like I have to be on the go. I do have patience when like it needs to be, and I understand like everything can't be rushed and quick, but when it comes to my own personal stuff, like cleaning, whether it be like cleaning the house or doing any tasks that you have to do, like let's say you had to deliver stuff or post things, or you need to go to post office, or you need to go grocery shopping, like I have to do them there and then. Like I have to have everything done like now. And it's the same with my paintings. I get very impatient with painting sometimes, like, so I've learned to do multiple sketches across a sketchbook or different items, and then when I'm waiting for one to dry, I can start on another one, and then go back and forth like that. And then I find I get paintings complete a bit quicker and a bit easier, and I find I don't get impatient as much with them because I've got something occupying my brain 24/7. Which probably isn't the best way to live, but I don't know why. I must just have a really active brain. Like I feel like I have to have something to do like 24/7. Like the moment there's like a break period, which everyone needs rest to recoup, but I find myself getting fidgety. I feel like I just can't chill. I haven't got the chill in me. Which is probably why I get so annoyed with myself. But yes, that is what is on the agenda, so I'm just going to do some journaling, guys. Some loose sketches of some blackberries and pomegranate halves. I took these photos when I was on a walk of the blackberries, which I'll apply here so you can have a look. And me and my mum got some pomegranates from the grocery store, and she cut one in half and we were going to eat them, and she was like, wait a minute, I'm going to take a photo because it'll be good reference photo for some still life. And I joined the bandwagon and also took some photos, which I'll apply here. And I really liked how these turned out. I don't often use a lot of pink colours and magenta kind of tones in my artwork. I'm very much more on the warmer tone. I guess your magentas really are warm tone and your pinks, but sometimes like I say, I'm not a very a pink girly, so I don't ever really use them that often. And I think just changing up and using these kinds of colours really kind of brought some bit of vibrancy to this sketchbook, and I really liked how these 2 pages turned out. It definitely made me happy being back on the kind of mixed media, loose, more abstract feel, as I haven't done these kind of looser sketches in a while, as I've been trying to make products for my online shop recently and making different purchases. I have a few different products which I'm going to mention in a later video, so stay tuned for that, which I'm so excited. But I've been in the process of making prints and bookmarks and different things like that, and this pomegranate ended up inspiring another bookmark design, and I'm so excited to show you guys all these. But yes, stay tuned for those. And I just really liked how these turned out. It was just a little different for me, and I quite enjoyed drawing fruit, I found, with doing these, and the pumpkins. And I think I'm definitely going to have to start doing more still life and a few more fruit drawings, as every time I've drawn them, including my little lemonade one, which I did ages ago in my Royal Talent sketchbook, I really like how they always turn out. And I personally feel like I actually quite enjoy and quite like doing drawing through, and I always kind of am happy with how the art pieces turn out for those. But yeah, I just had fun doing these, and I hope you guys have been enjoying this video, joining me doing these little sketches and going on these little autumnal adventures. It's been so much fun, and I have just had such an amazing time videoing all these different bits of footage, whether it be the scenery parts, the sketching, the painting, and a little bit of me. I added a little bit of me editing this video in just to kind of change things up, so you get to see what I'm also doing in the art room. And unfortunately, as everyone knows, when we all have these social medias and channels, it's not always about art. Unfortunately, we do have to sometimes do the more boring work in terms of editing videos and editing social media posts, when all we want to do is paint and draw. But we have to do the serious stuff as well, and I just really loved how these turned out. But that's pretty much been everything I've been up to these past couple of weeks. I'm starting, I think, to do videos every 2 weeks, just with how chaotic life has been. I think this routine just fits me a bit better, and with other things that I'm trying to start up. But yeah, these were all the little paintings and little adventures I've been up to, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give a like and a subscribe. It really does help the channel out a lot, and I will see you in the next video, guys.